Also, as a heads up,
Right, yeah.
his first two kids are Napoleon Charles and Napoleon Louis. He is Louis Napoleon. Hey, everybody. Robert here. Sorry, I make a number of mistakes about royalty early on. I am trying to correct them now. He's not Louis Napoleon. He is Louis Bonaparte. Now, keep that in mind because I'm about to call him Louis Napoleon a bunch of times. It is very frustrating, but no, the brother of Napoleon Bonaparte is Louis Bonaparte. His sons are Louis Napoleon and Napoleon Louis, but they are also Bonapartes. I'm sorry, this is very frustrating. I made some mistakes here. Their uncle is Napoleon Bonaparte. The names are going to be frustrating in the first episode or so of this. Yeah,
it's going to be difficult to tell them all apart.
Yeah. So Louis Napoleon, again, the dad, Napoleon Bonaparte's brother.
Please.
It's interesting too. The Napoleons are the Bonapartes are fascinating because Louis Napoleon is a dick at this point. He's going to evolve into like the only correct person in the entire story. This Louis Napoleon, not his son. Also Louis Napoleon.
Yeah.
Anyway,
the other.
Well, this is Louis Bonaparte. Sorry, not Louis Bonaparte. His son is Louis Napoleon. God, I hate the fucking names.
Yeah.
So shortly after sending this letter, Louis Napoleon's son, young Napoleon Louis, Louis Bonaparte's son, young Napoleon Louis.
I'm having a stroke, dude.
It's horrible. He gets one of the infinite number of sicknesses that little kids get back then, and he's soon dead as hell. Very sad. This tragedy shocks Louis Bonaparte into acting less like a piece of shit for a little while. He tries to be chill with his wife because their kid just died. He's doing his best. He's not like a goblin. For his part, Napoleon Bonaparte is concerned about the fact that he's down an heir, right? Mm-hmm. But to his credit, he doesn't focus primarily on that. He focuses his attention on Hortense. Again, he really loves her like a daughter. And he writes to her that he's worried because, quote, "You have lost interest in life and are indifferent to everything." So, which is also an understanding way to feel in that situation. But it's also interesting that he recognizes that. This makes Charles Napoleon the heir to the empire, which is quite a lot of pressure. That pressure gets eased a little bit on April 20th, 1808, when Louis Bonaparte and Hortense have their third son, who they named Louis Napoleon Bonaparte. So we just lost Napoleon Louis. Yeah. Now we've got Louis Napoleon, who's the focus of the episode, son of Louis Bonaparte. So Louis Bonaparte is the King of Holland, brother of Napoleon Bonaparte. His sons, Charles Napoleon and Louis Napoleon, are now the kids that are alive.
This is horrible.
I hate this too.
And you
would think we
would have learned from this by now, but I was just reading that 10% of the U.S. Senate is now made up of Johns.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Should be illegal. Should be a crime.
Did we not learn from Napoleon? Get a new name.
You know what else should be a crime, fellas? Allowing the Great Lakes to exist unmolested. Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about all of the different people named Louis Napoleon.
God, so annoying.
His father, who was Louis Bonaparte, not Louis Napoleon, but who I will probably mistakenly call Louis Napoleon another couple of times in this story.
100%.
Yeah, periodically is going to be a dick, but pretty much after this point, he gets increasingly chill. So, people grow. Oddly enough, this is not a bad memory for young Louis Napoleon. So Alexander, it's the second or the third. He's the Alexander who's going to become Tsar. He's Nikki's dad, right? So, hey, Robert here. I fucked up again. So, again, royalty, very frustrating. Alexander I was already Tsar when he entered Paris in 1814. He's the brother of Tsar Nicholas I, who is the father of Tsar Alexander II, who is the father of Nicholas II, who is the Nicky that we covered in our four-parter. He's the one with Rasputin and the getting murdered and all that stuff. Again, royalty, very frustrating, very complicated, too many names that are the same. So, things being what they were, France gets a new king. This one is a member of the Orleans family. Orléans, which means they are related to King
Leopold?
Leopold II and Leopold I. Both.
How?
There's a lot of names I got to keep track of right now.
I had to remember. I was like Belgium, and I was like, oh yeah, African Congo and shit. Yeah, Leopold.
I think you were just assuming he was named Louis or.
He is. He's King Louis Philippe. Yeah. The king who takes over France is Louis Philippe.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's related to King Leopold.
Leopold, yeah.
I need some more original names, people.
He does not. So some of these guys form an insurgent army in northern Italy called the Carbonari, and Louis Napoleon and his older brother Napoleon Louis both moved to Rome. I hate the names. I'm sorry.
They suck so much. They probably got confused themselves. Like, which one am I? Am I Tia or Tamara?
Louis Napoleon is our guy. His older brother is Napoleon Louis. They both moved to Rome and become active in the Carbonari cause. So in the summer of that year, Louis Napoleon meets a man who would set his life on a purposeful track. And this guy's name is Jean Gilbert Victor Fialin, better known as Gilbert Persigny.
Can I just say brave, new name.
Thank you.
I know.
Gilbert Persigny. Anyway, incredible opening. We really nailed it. This is Behind the Bastards, a policy in which I try to keep the names of all of the Bonapartes straight, and I'm going to be honest, largely fail at it.
No, it's going bad. It's going bad.
It's going to get a lot easier soon. Eventually, Louis Napoleon is the only one we have to care about in this story, but we're at the last stage of there being multiple Louis in this that are Bonapartes.
Listen, this is not your fault, and anybody who blames you,
no,
fuck off.
This is
not his fault.
The concept of hereditary nobility's fault. The logistical hurdles are made worse by the fact that Louis picks his cousin Jerome Bonaparte as the divisional general who's running the military. Now, Jerome gets the job because his cousin, also named Jerome, had fought alongside Napoleon Bonaparte. I know. No. It's so fucking stupid.
Two Jerrys?
Pick new names, you assholes! Like, God, I hate you.
There's Louis and there's Jerry.
No, there's only two kinds of names a person can have. Fucking call him Mitch. Have a Mitch Napoleon Bonaparte.
Honestly,
like, fucking hell.
Derek Napoleon.
Derek Bonaparte. God almighty.
Fucking A.
As he appoints a new leader, a non-military leader, because he's like, well, maybe they killed those soldiers because the military was being too aggressive. You know what I'll do? I'm going to put my best guy in charge of things. And you know who that's going to be?
Greg Napoleon?
Yeah, old Prince Jerome, the guy who had fucking fled the field in Crimea.
Old Greg's back. Hey, it's me.
Yeah, it's me.
Jerry Napoleon.
So he puts gutless Bonaparte. And this is where we get the story of the Countess of Castiglione. Born Virginia Elisabetta Luisa Carlotta Antonietta Teresa Maria Oldoini, which is nobody needs a name that long. You know, three words. That's all you get.
In Mambo number 5.
Exactly. Yeah, this bitch is her own Mambo number 5. Her parents